Staggering new numbers on the border crisis as the White House now admits its own policies may in fact be driving the migrant surge. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus, and we are closely watching that dire situation of child migrants streaming across our southern border into the United States. The Biden team is now reportedly desperate to find places to house them. They're looking at unused school buildings, military bases, and even a NASA facility. And the White House Southern Border Coordinator is not denying that Biden's policies play a role in the surge and are encouraging smugglers to be bolder than ever.
We've seen surges before. Surges tend to respond to hope. And there was a significant hope for a more humane policy after 4 years of pent-up demand. So I don't know whether I would call that a coincidence, but I certainly think that the idea that a more humane policy would be in place may have driven people to make that decision.
Well, here's how many are coming. More than 100,000 migrants were encountered at the border in February. That's a 97% jump from the same month of last year. Nearly 30,000 unaccompanied children were encountered. Some 3,000 of them 12 years old or younger. Arrests and deportations also plunged as President Biden tightened the rules on how ICE agents can operate. There were more than 2,300 arrests in February. That's down 66% from the average number over October, November, and December. And only about half the number of deportations in February compared to the month before. So we are headed in that direction. Fewer people stopped at the border or elsewhere who are here illegally. Republicans from border states are going after the Biden White House over this.
Cartels have operational control of our border, and the Biden administration knows it, and they don't care.
What are you going to do about this catastrophe? It is a humanitarian crisis.
Stop spending your time kowtowing to the radical left. Take ownership of this crisis that you've created. Step up and help us fix this.
You would have to have the most acute case of suspended reality to deny that we have a border crisis.
Ken Cuccinelli, former acting DHS secretary, a key player in former President Trump's border security strategy, is with me now. Ken, thank you for being here. So this is unfolding now before our eyes at a much more rapid pace. And I hear Democrats saying, oh, well, this happens all the time. Well, why didn't it happen last year? What really specifically is being driven by Biden policies?
Yeah, it does not happen all the time. That's a ludicrous statement. And part of the reason they're trying so desperately to play this down and to avoid using the word crisis is that Joe Biden is personally responsible for this. He is personally responsible for this. He invited them to come illegally, what you just heard Jacobson call a more humane policy. What they mean is we won't enforce the law. That's what they mean, and they have broadcast that across the world, and the world is responding just as they expected it to. And at the same time, they're stopping deportations, so anybody who comes illegally knows they're not going to be sent home, and they're reenacting catch and release. So it's really just a hello, Mr. Border Patrol agent, nice to see you. I'll just move on to Chicago, to New York, to Virginia, to Iowa, whatever. And that, frankly, they're turning their transportation resources not to deporting people, but to moving them farther into our own country. So this is, they have brought this on themselves, and they're facilitating it.
And Ken, we've seen, bus companies, we've seen people who are responsible for transport saying we need negative COVID-19 tests when these people get on buses. I mean, they're fanning out. And that's the adults. The situation with the children, I mean, that's on our souls.
Much more difficult.
Over the last 21 days, CBP reportedly encountered 435 unaccompanied children every single day, up from a previous average of about 340. They are staying in facilities for 107 hours on average, longer than the 72 permitted under U.S. law. A week ago, Ken, the average time was 77 hours. We're going far north of that. What is happening?
Well, and you can expect that number to keep going up, Harris. Now, by comparison, we were down around 24 hours when we got our arms around the last crisis in May of 2019. And they're going the wrong way. They're going the other way. And there truly aren't facilities there. It was amazing to watch Jen Psaki say, yeah, we don't have the facilities to hold these kids, but it's not a crisis, all in the same breath. And they can't do catch and release with children. It's the one group of people, the unaccompanied children, you can't just turn out onto the sidewalk. In your introductory report, you noted how many thousands of them are even under 12 years old. So the strategy of the families is come up to the border, shove their kids across, which in America would be considered child neglect. Here, our federal government cooperates as the next chain in the human smuggling operation.
And that's if they come with adults that they know. But we're finding out about, you know, they have these colored bracelets, the Mexican drug cartels, the Daily Mail, Reuters doing reports on this. Human smugglers are using a system of colored wristbands with information on the bracelets to represent a multitude of data used for smuggling organizations. They note whether or not they were paid for coming across, so an adult on the southern part of the border had to pay, or what affiliation with smuggling groups they might be. I mean, this is so dangerous for the kids. One last word on that, and then I want to move to the next thing.
Yeah, and Chip Roy talked about this, Congressman Chip Roy. You've got Mexican officials speaking anonymously now about how dangerous this is. And we're going to see, again, it's really going on, we're just not testing for it, the recycling of children across that border by the cartels. This is a bonanza for the most vicious, evil organizations in the Western Hemisphere, the Mexican drug cartels, who do control that border.
You know, the technology I was just talking about, of course, that's the incentive that Mexico says that it's worried about now. And just talk to us a little bit about how different the relationship is already with our southern neighbor. You know, former President Trump had gotten a place where if you're seeking asylum, you stay there south of our border in Mexico. And now Mexico is saying, wow, this is becoming a big business in their country to smuggle, especially with those wristbands. They can tell who's paid and who hasn't.
Yeah, it's a full intelligence network, and the cartels enacted new business procedures, because that's how they view it, when Joe Biden was sworn in, because they could get away with it, and they knew it because Joe Biden told them that publicly. I mean, you can look all the way back for months and months. This has been coming, and in fact, they were gearing up before he was sworn in. Mexico's president said this is unsustainable, as Reuters reported. And this is not doing anything positive for our neighbors to the south. President Trump got to, through sort of tough negotiating, but got to some very strong partnerships, strong cooperation, the best we've ever had with the Northern Triangle countries of Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, as well as Mexico. And you described the role Mexico played, Harris, very accurately. And that was critical, because when migrants knew that if they came up here illegally, they would have to stay in Mexico, it dampened their ardor to come up illegally substantially, and the numbers plummeted in what is best referred to as the Trump effect. We're now seeing the Biden effect. What an invitation to a whole bunch of illegals will do is flood the border, and that's exactly what's happening. And it's going to continue to get worse. This is early in the season, Harris. This is normally the peak of illegal immigration comes much later in the year.
When it starts to really get warm. We do know that. It must be frustrating for those of you who worked so hard on this to watch it being unraveled now. And even some members of the administration high up are saying, well, you know, they are coming because of the policies. They feel like they'll have a better chance now. Ken, thank you very much. Appreciate your time and expertise.
Good to be with you, Harris.